Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We
It's
have
time
arrived.
to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Happy Valentine's Day, because that is the day, February 14th. Right here, it's a full moon. First thing we see when we look at our calendar, a date for today. We know that we are in Aquarius for our sun sign, and our moon sign, just like yesterday, is in Leo. We're continuing to be in Leo all day long. So yesterday is kind of like today. Today is kind of like yesterday in that energetic. There are a few more aspects, though, to be aware of. We have an aspect going on between the moon sign, Leo, and Saturn. This takes place in a couple of hours. And that aspect, Saturn, is discipline. So we have Leo, which is our creativity, our righteousness, which is right useness, the way in which we use the energy. The way in which we use our energy is going to come against this block, this lesson. And the lesson is discipline, something about discipline. How we move to the next forward, what we need to do with that usage of our energy. So it's all a positive thing. Something important we need to come to understand. So that aspect is taking place to make that lesson available. And then later on this evening, there's an aspect between the sun sign Aquarius and Mars, which Aquarius is the words and the actions. Mars is, and this is something positive. When you see a triangle, it means a good energy. Mars can be very passionate. Mars is a lot of energy. So could be for a good evening, a good weekend evening, Valentine's evening. So should be a lot of good stuff, a lot of good communication with the Aquarius in there, because Aquarius is all about the words and the actions. Right. Then while we're here, let's take a look at our numerology for today. Okay, today we're at the 14th, right? So the way we got it, that is 2 plus 1 plus 4 is a 7. We know the year is a 7. So we've got 14. 7 and 7 is 14, which is synchronistic for what today is. And then we've got 1 and 4 equals a 5. So we're going to look at two numbers, 14, and we're going to look at 5. 14 in the tarot cards is the card of Temperance, which is an angel, which is the angel that looks over us, the angel that helps us decipher the false truths from the real things in life. And that's one of the important lessons we all deal with, because if we get caught up in the false truths, then we don't know which way we're going. So we have that holy guardian angel, also our higher self, and the higher self connected in with the 14. Valentine's Day, isn't that like the first connection of love there is with our higher self, with ourselves? When we truly connect in with that, that's ultimately, a connection that is going to put us in a better place to be able to be more effective in the world. So the numerology for today is the 14, but then we reduce that down to a 5. Now 5 is, let's look at 5 here, the description. 5s are energetic, adventurous, daring, freedom-loving. They tend to be versatile, flexible, adaptable, curious, sensual, quick-thinking, witty, courageous, worldly. On the flip side, they can be unstable, chaotic, self-indulgent, irresponsible, or careless. They should beware the consequences of drug abuse and unhealthy sexual tendencies. So this is associated with the card of Taurus and the Hierophant. Now the card of Taurus, or the card of Hierophant, the Hebrew letter attached to it, Va, means nail or hook. The whole idea is about hooking together the ideas of Taurus, the earth, with spirit, because it's a recognizing that there's a connection. The fire, the water, the air make up the earth. So there's a spirituality inherent in this, which is why this card is the Hierophant, the spiritual teacher, because the spiritual teacher is the one who is bringing and hooking those things together. Okay? So that's what's going on there in numerology for today, as well as where we're at. And don't forget about the full moon. Lots of energy. All right, let's look at what we see when we look at the sky tonight. Okay, full moon. The exact time is 6:53 p.m. Eastern. That's 3:53 p.m. out here in Los Angeles, California. Look for Regulus in Leo to the moon's left during the evening. A February full moon is never far from Regulus. Algol and Perseus should be at its minimum light, magnitude 3.4, instead of its usual 2.1 for a couple of hours. Okay, so when we look at the moon tonight, we're going to see the moon. This is looking to the east. We'll see the moon, and off to the left of it, we're going to see Regulus. And you got this right here. You know, if you have an iPhone or an Android, there's some really cool apps to be able to look up at the sun and the moon, or the moon and the stars at night, and it really outlines the constellations for you and where they're at. So something really cool just to check out to follow what's going on up there. Then here we see our full moon. All right, Mayan Oracle, we're on a three-tone day. Three tones are called the electric tones of service. They're the tones of activation. The idea of three is that the one which was unified, pulled apart, became two. In that two, it found its balance, and after finding its balance, the one and the two created a third member. So therefore is the idea of creativity that comes out of the unity of the one and the two as they are separated and then rejoined. So the one is like the three, just more advanced along the way. So it's called the tone of activation, the tone of service, and we're in the wave spell of the serpent, how we use our energy. So today we're activating, putting into service the way in which we have learned to use this life force energy. The kin for today is the hand. It's about accomplishment. Okay, knowing that we use our hands to accomplish whatever it is we want. We can heal, we can kill. The guide for today is the monkey. The monkey's all about magic. I always like to think of the monkey from The Lion King, the shaman, Rafiki. So we've got the hand guided by the monkey. It's a three-tone day, which is the electric tone. Our like-minded energy today is free will, the human. Our challenge is to get in synchronicity and really just be in synchronicity with what's going on. And then, of course, we have the hidden power, which is timelessness. The phrase for today is, I activate in order to know bonding healing. I seal the store of accomplishment with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of magic. And we are in that galactic activation portal phase, where we're going to have several in a row now. Okay, so you just need to be aware that we've got all of these intense days coming up, 10 of them. We're just on the second one. All right, and let's go over to our space weather. Solar wind currently 359.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is down to 1. All is quiet. Now look at these coronal holes. Pretty interesting. They're almost like mirrors of each other to some, well, sure are large coronal holes. And as it says, around the 17th, 18th, we should be feeling some effect from this. We'll see what happens then. Our M-class flare possibilities at a 60%, X-class at 10. Geomagnetic storm activity is up 40% here, 60% if you're in the high latitudes to 75. So definitely going to have some activity, and with that activity brings auroras and things of this nature. So keep your eyes to the skies, have a camera ready. You never know what you might see. That brings us up to UFO news. I'll be right back.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Let's jump over here and check out what we have today. First story here, amazing UFO photos coincides with 5-shaped radar return. This was in Australia. Mysterious weather formation that appeared on the Bureau of Meteorology's radar on Wednesday afternoon is said to be resolved. The Australian government explained it was conducting exercises in the area. Well, not so fast. Some fishermen off the same coast took several amazing pictures below that defy a simple explanation. We are always quick to believe these conventional explanations, but this particular event should give us all pause before we readily accept the government response. What in the world were they exercising that would leave this type of radar image? What were they doing that would allow a fisherman to take these photos? You can be sure that the Australian government knew these pictures existed. They would have prevented them from being released. So I would say that the conspiracy theorists are onto something. Could it possibly be an extraterrestrial craft? Or is the government attempting to control weather patterns? There is little doubt that something strange and unexplained is happening. Okay, so this appears to be the weather pattern here that showed up. That is quite interesting. Weird. Not normal. Mandurah fisherman who took footage of an eerie light show off the coast Wednesday morning said he believes what he saw was a UFO. The man, who does not wish to be named, said he was about 40 kilometers offshore when he spotted the light shortly before dawn. Grabbing his camera, the man managed to capture images of the light, which he said moved and changed colors before disappearing with the sunrise. After 9 years of fishing, I've never seen anything like it, he said. The strange sight preceded the release of the Bureau of Meteorology's radar picture showing a bizarre S-shaped formation just west of the Rottnest Island on Wednesday. There's another image right there. A BOM spokesperson ruled out the radar phenomena being caused by precipitation, and there is a suggestion the formation may have been caused by radar picked up condensation from an aircraft fuel dump during military exercises. It should be noted, aircraft dump fuel all the time. Every plane that gets off the ground and then aborts its flight plan dumps fuel. These aircraft, always near military and commercial airports, they never leave a radar signature like the one shown in the image above. Retired astronaut Ralph Martin said it was hard to say what caused the strange light or radar picture. The vast majority of these reports have reasonable explanation. They're usually either astronomical objects or aircrafts, but we can't explain them all. So there's a very interesting one. So you got one group saying this is military related, and then you have a fisherman saying not so fast. All right, moving on from there. We're going to go over to El Paso, Texas. This was on the 8th. Might have seen this, but if so, we'll see it again. Would this be UFOs? Are really strange because they were just making triangles every time they appeared in the sky and then disappeared all of a sudden. Alright, there's 3 minutes 41 seconds of this. You can just see the triangular formation there. Okay, we've seen plenty of these, and the one thing that's not occurring during any of these, no one's beaming down and nobody is beginning a battle, a war with the people of the earth. So maybe that's not the agenda. Okay, military helicopters chase UFOs. Witnesses in Missouri and California report separate events on February 11th. Both describe helicopters chasing UFOs according to testimony in cases 54029 and 54034 from the Mutual UFO Network Witness Reporting Database. A Missouri witness in Lone Jack was watching television at 6:01 p.m. Central Time, Friday, February 11th, when the sound of a loud helicopter thundering overhead was heard. He immediately moved to the window facing south and looked outside. I saw a black helicopter hauling ass over my house just below 300 feet from my rooftop, the witness stated. But then the witness noticed a second object in the sky. It was going east and west and immediately turned south towards a thin, dark gray disk object that had a white light modulating from it. The disk appeared less than a mile away, heading north when it was as if the helicopter spooked it, and it simply made an abrupt left turn heading northwest at an amazing speed towards Kansas City, Missouri. The witness observed the military helicopter was not able to catch up to the disc-shaped object, with the black military attack helicopter turning very hard, almost vertical, around heading northwest in pursuit of it. Whatever the object was, it definitely had the ability to outrun the military helicopter and disappeared from sight. Then, 2 hours and 24 minutes later in Anaheim, California, a witness was inside at the computer at 6:25 p.m. Pacific time on the same day, the 11th. When the sound of a loud helicopter was heard, the witness ran outside to the backyard facing west. I saw that the ground in the backyard was lit up pretty good, the witness stated. I say lit up because it was dark and we have a patio cover so the sky is somewhat blocked. But the witness was surprised to see two objects moving overhead. As I went out the sliding back door, I immediately saw an orb-like star shining object that was being chased by a helicopter. The helicopter did have its searchlight on, so I'm guessing what the light was. So when I looked up, I didn't even see the helicopter at first. All I saw was the bright white orb in the helicopter. That's how I knew the two were. I viewed the helicopter chasing the orb from the west going to the east. I was in awe of just how these two objects were in the sky and how the orb was just so bold and solid and brilliant. It was like a star passing right in front of me. The helicopter had its blinking red and white lights on with the searchlight, but when the helicopter shined the light, the orb kept going, or so it seemed. I viewed these two fly towards the east off into the distance and kept viewing for as long as I could, when the orb suddenly disappeared for 2 to 4 seconds and then reappeared for another 20 seconds and then disappeared again. MUFON receives report every year from around the country where a military jet or helicopter appears to be following or chasing a UFO. These types of incidents are certainly something we watch for, said MUFON Executive Director J.N.C. Harzan, reached today at the Newport Beach, California headquarters office. Some of the more historical UFO events include a military presence, and in small number of cases nationally, we do have reports where a witness will encounter a UFO and then see what appears to be a military jet or helicopter coming into the same airspace. Witnesses in these cases typically report that the military vehicle appears to be chasing the UFO. It is definitely something we watch for because it supports the reality that we believe the U.S. government still investigates UFOs. Okay, moving on. Thousands of UFO believers gathered to meet at UFO conference to hear witnesses lectures in UFOs. All right. Around 2,500 people will attend this conference, which is the 23rd one to take place. Lots of academics and former scientists from NASA who discovered alien life and meteorites will be there. It's the largest UFO convention in the country. Hundreds gather at the International UFO Congress in Fountain Hills this week. There's a spectrum of believers at the conference, from those who are curious about the possibility of aliens and UFOs to those who believe that they themselves are aliens. Fox 10 asked attendees, what do aliens look like? And we got plenty of possibilities. Got the video right here. I'm just going to leave that for you so you can watch it, entertain yourself. We know, though, what Fox News likes to do when they ask people questions. So, don't be surprised if they're making fun of them. Alright, moving on. Ever dream of traveling to the stars to find UFOs? It's not as far-fetched as you may think. The technology for interstellar travel is within your reach, scientists say, but you may not want to put it in your bucket list just yet. There are still a few snags in the way. What those snags are and when we might be able to put a star travel on our itinerary are topics on tap for Friday night's lecture in Richmond Hill. Search for extraterrestrials at the Langstaff Community Center. It's part of the David Dunlap Observatory Defenders Evenings with Astronomers Winter Lecture Series, exploring life elsewhere in the universe. Ian Shelton, a PhD astronomer hosting the series, says the first snag that is stalling your trip to the stars is the amount of money and the time the trek would take. You would, in theory, travel anywhere in the universe, exploiting the technology we already have, but by the time you get back to tell your friends and family about it, he says they would be long gone. If you're making the trip at the speed of light, you won't age. You would still take 10,000 years to get to the center of our galaxy, he explains. So while you're crushing through the cosmos, time goes on for everyone else, not sharing the spacecraft with you. By the time you come back after 20,000 years or so, with your notebook full of all kinds of great videos and you're ready to tell everyone about it, it wouldn't be there anymore. The second snag is finding someone to foot the bill for your journey. The big question is, how much money do we want to throw at this? Let's say we decide it's premature to send humans out there, but we still want to know more. Scientists can make atoms and molecules travel at the speed of light, and we could build a little space probe that could record the trip and send it to the closest star, a relatively short jaunt of just 4 years. That's entirely feasible, he says. The probe could take some close-up photos and return home in 8 or 9 years. But that trip would extend through the 2 U.S. government administrations and cost tens of billions of dollars. How likely is that? The technology is known to us. We know what we need to do. It'd take decades to build, though, and the whole world's economy would be directed to the glory of sending off someone into space, never to see them again. The amazing thing is, we do have the ability to do this. That's why he and his wife, fellow astronomer Tuba Kutkoe, are hosting this public dialogue about UFOs, extraterrestrials, and travel to the stars. Humans are hardwired to wonder about these mysteries, and the answers are out there, so close and yet so far. Research has shown in the last few years there are more than 1,000 planets outside our solar system. With so many possible Earth-like orbs and so much life out here in our own world, it's natural to wonder, why isn't life everywhere? It's not going to be as easy to find life as we'd like, he says. We've been looking for more than 50 years. With the best thinking, the best tools, there's nothing so far to prove there's life out there. Mankind could learn a lot, he adds, by checking out another planet, Mars maybe, that has not yet been spoiled by human beings. All right, we got more here. So, very interesting indeed. Again, I know that there's a lot looking for life out there. But of all the pictures we see, there's a lot of spaceships that are close by. So maybe the search for extraterrestrial life doesn't need to go so far. Maybe we need just to explore the close-ups. More evidence of early UFO denial. Much to the apparent uninformed state of the American public, during the 50s, a pervasive attempt by the U.S. military was making incredible strides in conducting a Cold War with the Soviet Union and trying to convince civilians that the UFO mystery was simply benign and irrelevant. Yet another monumental effort was underway in all of this. In instructing every rank, from sailor to airman, from general to bird colonel, methods of recognition of conventional enemy weaponry was being distributed among the various branches of the armed services. However, it did not stop there. A wide-range effort was discreetly introduced into internal military media sources to educate U.S. servicemen on the difference between conventional aircraft and threats from the ubiquitous UFO. A typical lesson in government doublespeak was being exercised, and crucial UFO sightings were publicly ridiculed, while intelligence data was discreetly being sent up the ladder for secret priority analysis and subjected to technical examination. As post-war nerves in the Cold War era raged, another form of interdepartmental orientation was being directed towards those out in the field. It would take years before these efforts would be exposed. A good example of this was when David Kehoe revealed that many of the problematic UFO sightings of the U.S. Air Force were discreetly forwarded to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton while being denied or simply explained away by Project Blue Book advisor Dr. Alan J. Hynek. During the 50s, one such example of U.S. military silently instructing its personnel to recognize the difference in reporting conventional enemy threats and UFOs was in full swing. A Marant poster was routinely distributed to the bridge of every Naval and Coast Guard ship under patrol duty. The poster was essentially a bulletin that made a clear distinction between enemy ships, aircraft, missiles, and clearly illustrated spaceships and elliptical-shaped flying saucers. This is a rather significant discovery, as it establishes that U.S. military was operating under a very clandestine agenda that was complex and intentionally deceptive. The very phenomena they denied publicly, they were simultaneously training their personnel to recognize and report. All right, more to the article. Again, I'm sure it doesn't surprise you that our military has been not being honest about the UFOs, but we knew that. Here's something. I'm not going to play this. I'm going to leave it for you at 17 minutes and 38 seconds. This is something for the weekend to watch. It's How Spacecraft Work by Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar is a gentleman who claims that he worked at Area 51 and that this is an actual design, part of something that he was working on. So he left Area 51 and he's put information out. So check it out. Check it out. And one last piece, little Valentine's UFO here. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Heart-shaped crater on Mars found by NASA. This is an old story. It goes back to 1999. Even NASA notices strange shapes on Mars. This heart is for all those lonely souls in the universe and has stood the test of time, proving a heart can last forever. Alright, there it is right there. Alright. That is our UFO news. I'm going to jump away just for a couple of moments. I'll be back and we'll continue on. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. Today is Valentine's Day. So what is that all about? Well, let's check it out. That's the first story I brought up here. Valentine's Day. This article is about the liturgical celebration and romantic holiday. Here we go. This is from Wikipedia. St. Valentine's Day, also known as Valentine's Day or the Feast of St. Valentine, is observed on February 14th each year. It is celebrated in many countries around the world, although it is not a holiday in most of them. St. Valentine's Day began as a more liturgical celebration of one or more early Christian saints named Valentinus. Several martyrdom stories were invented for the famous Valentines that belonged to February 14th and added later martyrologies. A popular hagiographical account of St. Valentine of Rome states that he was imprisoned for performing weddings for soldiers who were forbidden to marry and who were ministering to Christians who were persecuted under the Roman Empire. According to the legend, during his imprisonment, he healed the daughter of jailer Asterius. An embellishment to the story states that before his execution, he wrote her a letter signed "Your Valentine" as a farewell. Today, St. Valentine's is an official feast day in the Anglican Communion, as well as the Lutheran Church. The Eastern Orthodox Church also celebrates St. Valentine's Day, albeit July 6th and July 30th. The former date in the Roman Presbyterian St. Valentine, and the later date in the honor of Martyr Valentine, the Bishop of Interrama in Brazil. The day was first associated with a romantic love in the circle of Geoffrey Chaucer in the High Middle Ages, when the tradition of courtly love flourished. In the 18th century England, it evolved an occasion in which lovers expressed their love for each other by presenting flowers, offering confectionery, and sending greeting cards. Valentine's Day symbols are used today include the heart-shaped outline, doves, and the figures of the winged Cupid. Since the 19th century, handwritten valentines were given away to mass-produced greeting cards. Okay, a little bit, we know this. Just put a little bit of history. There's a little more here. Numerous early Christian martyrs were named Valentine. The Valentines honored on February 14th are Valentine of Rome and Valentine of Terni. Valentine of Rome is the priest in Rome who was martyred about AD 496 and was buried on the Via Flaminia. The relics of St. Valentine were kept in the church catacombs of St. Valentino in Rome, which remained an important pilgrim site throughout the Middle Ages until the relics of St. Valentine were transferred to the church of Santa Prassede during the pontification of Nicholas IV. The flower-crowned skull of St. Valentine is exhibited in the Basilica of St. Maria Iscosmedin, Rome. Other relics are found at Whitefriars Street Carmelite Church in Dublin, Ireland. Valentine of Terni became bishop of Interamia about AD 197 and said to have been martyred during the persecution of Emperor Aurelian. He is also buried on the Via Flaminia, but in a different location than Valentine of Rome. His relics are at the Basilica of St. Valentine in Terni. Jack B. Orridge states that the abstracts of the acts of the two saints were in nearly every church and monastery of Europe. The Catholic Encyclopedia also speaks of a third saint named Valentine, who is mentioned in early martyrologies under the date of February 14th. He was martyred in Africa with a number of companions, but nothing more is known about him. St. Valentine's head was preserved in the Abbey of New Minster, Winchester, and venerated. February 14th is celebrated as St. Valentine's Day in various Christian denominations. It has, for example, the rank of commemoration in the calendar of saints and the Anglican Communion. In addition, the feast day of St. Valentine is also given the calendar of saints of the Lutheran Church. However, in 1969 revision of the Roman Catholic calendar of saints, the feast day of St. Valentine on February 14th was removed from the general Roman calendar and regulated to particular calendars for the following reason. Though the memorial of St. Valentine is ancient, it is left to particular calendars, since apart from his name nothing is known of St. Valentine except that he was buried on the Via Flaminia on February 14th. The feast day is still celebrated in Balzan, where relics in the saint are claimed to be found, and also throughout the world by traditional Catholics who follow the older pre-Second Vatican Council calendar. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, St. Valentine's Day is celebrated on July 6th, in which St. Valentine, the Roman presbyter, is honored. Furthermore, the Eastern Catholic Orthodox Church observes the feast of hero martyr Valentine, Bishop of Vinterama, on July 30th. All right, we can go more into all these, but a little bit of the folk traditions. It says, while the Arab folk traditions connected with St. Valentine and St. Valentine's Day have become marginalized by the modern Anglo-American customs connecting the day with romantic love, there are some remaining associations connecting the saint with the advent of spring. While the custom of sending cards, flowers, chocolates, and other gifts originated in the UK, Valentine's Day still remains connected with various regional customs in England. In Norfolk, a character called Jack Valentine knocks on the rear door of houses, leaving sweets and presents for children. Although he was leaving treats, many children were scared of the mythical person. In Slovenia, Saint Valentine Arzvadko was one of the saints of spring, the saint of good health and the patron of beekeepers and pilgrims. And Proverbs says that Saint Valentine brings the keys of roots. Plants and flowers start to grow in this day. It has been celebrated as a day when the first work of the vineyards and in the fields commences. It is also said that the birds propose to each other or marry on that day. Another proverb says, Valentine, privi spomladin, Valentine, the first spring saint, as in some places. Saint Valentine marks the beginning of spring. Valentine's Day has only recently been celebrated as the Day of Love. The Day of Love was traditionally March 12th, St. Gregory's Day, or February 22nd, St. Vincent's Day. The patron of love was St. Anthony, whose day has been celebrated on June 13th. So how we get this connection with romantic love? Well, here it is. There's no evidence of any link between St. Valentine's Day and the rites of the ancient Roman festival, despite many claims by many authors. The celebration of St. Valentine did not have any romantic connotations until Chaucer's poetry about Valentines in the 14th century. Popular modern sources claim links to unspecified Greco-Roman February holidays, a line to be devoted to fertility and to love to St. Valentine's Day. But prior to Chaucer in the 14th century, there are no links between the saints named Valentinus and romantic love. Earlier links are described above were focused on sacrifice rather than romantic love. In the ancient Athenian calendar, the period between mid-January and mid-February was the month of Gamaliel, dedicated to the many sacred marriage of Zeus and Hera. In ancient Rome, Lupercalia, observed February 13th through 15th, was an archaic rite connected to fertility. Lupercalia was a festival known in the city of Rome. The more general festival of Juno Febra, meaning Juno the Purifier or the chaste Juno, was celebrated February 13th and 14th. Pope Gellius abolished Lupercalia. Some researchers have theorized that Gellius was replaced Lupercalia with the celebration of the purification of Mary on May 14th and claim a connection to the 14th century's connotation of romantic love, but there is no historical indication that he ever intended such a thing. Also, the dates don't fit at the time of the Gelasius I. The feast was only celebrated in Jerusalem, and it was on February 14th only because Jerusalem placed the Nativity on January 6th. Although it was called Purification of Mary, it dealt mainly with the presentation of Jesus at the temple. Jerusalem's Purification of Mary on February 14th became the presentation of Jesus at the temple on February 2nd, as it was introduced to Rome and other places in the 6th century. Alban Butler, in his Life of the Principal Saints, claimed without proof that men and women in Lupercalia drew names from a jar to make couples, and that modern Valentine letters coupled from this custom. In reality, this practice originated in the Middle Ages with no link to Lupercalia, with men drawing names of girls at random to couple with them. The custom was combated by priests, for example by Francis de Sales around 1600, apparently by replacing it with a religious custom of girls drawing the names of apostles from the altar. However, the religious custom is recorded as soon as the 13th century of the life of Saint Elizabeth of Hungary, so it could have a different origin. All right, there's a lot more to all of this story, but pretty fascinating that Valentine's isn't always what always what we think it is right now. There's so much more. It seems like it's been a battle back and forth that obviously it was never intended to be about romantic love. It had to do with these priests, sacrifice, but then later how it changed through poetry, and now here we celebrate it and we just recognize it as a day of love. I think it's pretty fascinating, and we can just see there's so much information that's there. And when it says paper valentines became popular in England in the early 19th century, that they were assembled in factories. It goes on to talk about where we've become now. The greeting cards has evolved. I mean, it seems like it's become very business. The business of Valentines. Valentine's Day customs developed into early England and spread throughout Anglosphere in the 19th century. In the later 20th and early 21st, these customs also spread to other countries along with aspects of the American pop culture. But its impact so far has been rather more limited to that of Halloween or that the U.S. pop culture inspired aspects of Christmas. Due to the concentrated marketing effort, Valentine's Day is celebrated in some East Asian countries, with Chinese and South Koreans spending most of their money on Valentine's gifts. The celebration is taking place in the People's Republic of China. In China, the common situation is that man gives chocolates, flowers, or both to the women that he loves. In Finland, Valentine's Day is called, I'm not even going to try, which translates into Friends Day. In France, traditionally Catholic country, Valentine is simply known as Saint Valentine and is celebrated the same way. In Greece, Saint Valentine's was not associated with romantic love. In Eastern Orthodox Church, there is another saint who protects people who are in love. In India, in antiquity, there was tradition of adoring Kamadeva, the Lord of Love, exemplified by the erotic carvings in the Kajaro group of monuments and by the writings of the Kama Sutra Treaty of Lovemaking. In Iran, the Sepan Maranzgan is a festival where people express love towards their mothers and wives. It is also a celebration of the earth. In Israel, the Jewish tradition of Tu B'Av has been revived and transformed into the Jewish equivalent of Valentine's Day, celebrated on the 15th of the month of Av, which is usually in late August. In Japan, Morozov Limited introduced the holiday for the first time in 1936 when it ran an advertisement aimed at foreigners. Late at 1953, it began promoting the giving of heart-shaped chocolates. In Latin America, some countries, Valentine's Day is known as Dia del Amor, l'amore y amistad, Day of Love and Friendship. The Philippines, Valentine's is called Ora Angamo Puso, Heart's Day. In Portugal, it is more commonly referred to as Dios no Namorados, Lover's Day, the Day of the Enamored. In Romania, the traditional holiday for lovers is Dragobet, which is celebrated on February 24th, named after a character from Romanian folklore. Scandinavian, Denmark, although February 14th is known as Valentinsdag, it is not celebrated to a large extent, but is largely imported from American culture. Singapore are amongst the biggest spenders on Valentine's Day, with 60% of Singapore's indicating that they would spend between $100 to $500 during the season leading up to the holiday. South Korea, similar to Japan, women give chocolates to men on February 14th, and men give non-chocolate candy to women on March 14th. On April 14th, those who do not receive anything on February 14th or March go to a Korean restaurant and eat black noodles and mourn their single life. In Spain, Valentine's Day is known as Saint Valentin. Republic of China, traditional Kiki festival. In Wales, people celebrate on the 25th So lots of celebrations around the world that recognize Valentine's Day, and for different reasons. But it's great to see that it's all now centered around love. Things evolve, things evolve, and the ideas evolve, and what people are looking for in life evolve. I've read a couple articles here. This is about twin flames. Everyone, when they look for love, they're looking to find that twin flame. Many people want to find who is that, what's it about. So here's a couple of really good articles in that. The term twin flame is becoming increasingly acknowledged and familiar in the metaphysical realm, especially as the numbers of twin flame relationships seem to skyrocket, most likely to help our world with unique energies, perspectives, and power that twin flame reunions create. The twin flame is quite literally the soul's other half, which parted before entering the third dimensional experience in human incarnation. Up until recently, most twin flame halves did not incarnate at the same time, but took turns supporting each other through respective human lifetimes. However, twin flame partners are incarnating together in great numbers now with special purposes and helping to maintain lifetimes, protect and augment energies, and move our world towards forward, particularly in the times ahead. Okay, there's a lot more to this, so I'm going to leave that. There's another good article on twin flames. In this article, I will attempt to explain the process of twin flame relationship. This is a very controversial subject with many different views and meanings. Your twin flame is, or what is sometimes called a twin soul, is literally the other half of your soul. In the beginning of time, you were created with two souls, one masculine, one feminine, so you would always have a companion that is energetically part of you. Because of this separation that you had with your soul at the time, your unconscious mind is always longing or searching for this connection. Hence, this is why so many people keep turning lovers away and search aimlessly, not knowing what it is they are looking for. What is missing is their twin flame, yet this does not always mean you will find it on Earth at the same time you have come here. In fact, it is quite a rare experience. When you do meet your twin flame, it's such an indescribable oneness that you will not doubt in your mind about who you have met. Your souls may take on their own little dance of homecoming. You will feel as though you are on a new energetic level. Most of the time, your body will beat differently, and you will think differently. You will feel differently. All of these things are not found so intensely in other types of relationships. Okay, so I'm going to leave the rest of this for you to explore this, because I want to continue on. I have a few more things I want to get to. Alright, these next couple of pieces here, I'm not going to play these because, well, we're running short on time here today. But there's some fun things for you to watch and over the course of this weekend. This first piece right here, why is it not showing up this? Well, this first piece, I don't know if you can really see it. Don't know why you can't. This is a piece, it's called Elephant Painting My Name. It's pretty cool. It's exactly that. It's an elephant. It's doing a painting of somebody. I can play a little bit of it, just kind of show you. See the elephant with the paints. See the elephant over here doing the painting. So I thought I'd just put that up. Something fun to watch. Something kind of fun to check out over the course of the weekend. Give you a few things to enjoy. Seeing this animal paint's kind of cool. Alright, also, I have a couple other things that I think you might like. These are also weekend projects, things to watch. This first one here is a video. Well, actually, there are two parts, part 1 and part 2. The Revelation of the Pyramids. Okay, we have part 1. I've got part 2. I've got them linked up at the site, firstcontactradio.com. That way you can check it out. Very good series. I was watching it, and very informative, really draws together a lot of information. You probably know many of it, but it's always good to be able to see when it's really put together in a very good way, in a way that really makes sense and helps understand even more. And I think that's really awesome. So check that series out. It's really good. Okay, 2 good videos there. And if you haven't checked out the one about UFOs and secret societies, go back to earlier this week or the end of last week, and you'll see the video that's there, and check it out. It's under UFO stories. Really, really good. It's over an hour long, but good stuff. All right, now I want to move over here. I want to check out this piece. This is Astrology and Music. If one were to think in terms of musical frequencies emitted on each planet in a specific sign, a person's horoscope would make a specific kind of a harmony or music. Then when brought together with others, people or even planets that continue to move through time, the music would be either enhanced or become cacophonic. In fact, the music is constantly encouraged to adapt or rearrange itself to fit the stronger pattern. Johannes Kepler spoke convincingly of the harmony that permeates the universe, extending the work of Pythagoras and the universe of music of the spheres. Pythagoras defined music as a perfect union of contrary things, as unity and multiplicity, or accord and discord. Indeed, music does not only coordinate rhythm and modulation, but imposes order on the whole system. Pythagoras discovered that the pitch of a musical note changed if the length of a piece of a string was stopped halfway along. This created an octave that produced the same quality of sound as the note produced by the unstopped string, but it vibrated at twice the frequency. The Pythagoreans used music to heal the body and elevate the soul. In ancient cosmology, the planetary spheres ascended the earth to heaven like the rungs of a ladder, and each is said to correspond to a different note or grand music scale. And this is really cool. If you are into music, and you can go through and you explore all of the musical patterns, the astrological signs, the notes that they represent, really is very fascinating. It's very fascinating. I've spent some time studying through this, in my musical study, and it's really, really kind of cool just to see the associations that the planets all have with a musical value, and you put it together. There's a lot to it. It's a pretty cool study, so check it out. We're going to move forward here. This is a channeled message. This is Archangel Gabriel, called Manifestation. There we go.
Archangel Gabriel's message, February 6, 2014. Beloved ones, let us have discourse on the quality of love called manifestation. This quality involves the application of several other qualities of love, namely trust, determination, diligence, discipline and faith. In its application, this quality of love requires a set intention, either consciously or subconsciously, that what one strongly desires to become a reality in one's life will come into one's reality in order that one may experience the outcome as envisioned. This is a facet of love that is now coming into its own and is in its beginning stages of application. This quality requires inner power and drive to accomplish successfully. It requires focus and singleness of purpose as an individual practices creation of that which is desired to be experienced in their lives. As people on earth continue to release fear and doubt within themselves, this quality within them will allow new and creative materializations to come into being. There are many new and wonderful innovative technologies that will be given to the world by individuals who desire to create beauty, health, joy and wellness within all individuals. As these ones experience success in fulfilling their visions, they will be inspired to create ever greater and more helpful tools with which to enhance the quality of life upon the earth for all its life forms. This will become a labor of love for many more individuals in the near future, and this activity is, of course, already taking place in the moment of now. The desire to be of service to one's fellows will be the impetus that will see its fruition. Within each individual life, this quality of love is at work constantly. Every circumstance in one's immediate environment is created by using this facet of love. As each person desires to create an experience of a more abundant and prosperous existence, and takes time each day to visualize clearly what they want, The circumstances and synchronicities begin to occur in a way that will bring their heart's desire to them in seemingly miraculous ways. As more people begin to consciously experiment with their ability to manifest greater good in their everyday lives, this quality will be developed to a higher degree of mastery in its benevolent outcome for each person and their loved ones, their neighbors and friends, and the collective of humanity. This quality is a skill in which each person can become accomplished. As a person consciously practices their powers of creation in a way that is of benefit to them in their daily lives, it becomes an innate and integral part of their repertoire of talents and abilities, and it is one that can be used over and over again to bring all the good that they desire into their daily experience. As each person experiences success in using and practicing this skill and gains more confidence, the possibilities become endless in what can be successfully accomplished. People use this quality to create a better world for all upon this planet, and a greater sense and understanding of unity between each other is the manifested outcome. As this quality of love is practiced with diligence and responsibility, the world moves into a higher vibratory quality which will enable humanity as a whole to become free of former limiting patterns that they found difficult to overcome. It becomes easier to walk one's path upon the earth in a more joyful, passionate and enthusiastic manner. As each person discovers this quality that has been latent within them and employs its magic, the age of illumined living becomes more firmly anchored and established in the lives of all. May you manifest all the good that is waiting for you. I am Archangel Gabriel. Arlene Switless-Hoftsutana, Keeper of the Symphonies of Grace.
All right. Very nice. Very nice channeled message there. The link's available. You can listen to that, follow that, subscribe to her channel for more of those messages. All right, let us go to our meditation for today. And, well, let's hear. Yeah, let's go to our meditation. Let's begin this. All right, I want you to take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. I open my heart to love and I radiate love. Allow those words to vibrate through your consciousness. I open my heart to love and I radiate love. And just allow your heart to be open and feel the love within your heart radiating. And as the love radiates, allow yourself to contemplate on what today, Valentine's Day, represents. To know that this day has become a day of love, recognized around the planet by beings who desire to have love in their lives. And as we recognize this need of humanity to want love, to need love, we just send out love to fulfill that desire. And as you contemplate the ideas of love, continue to listen and contemplate these words. The power, presence, and the love of God live in the midst of me. I am fully connected to the vast and abundant nature of the universe. My body is the temple of the living God, whole, complete, and perfect. Divine insight frees me from fear and doubt and worry. Self-love and acceptance is the starting point in all my relationships. Gratefully and gracefully, I live these words of truth. And just imagine yourself walking the path of life, feeling the vibrations of love. And imagine sending these vibrations of love out into the world, all around the world, connecting with all of the others who are doing exactly the same thing. Imagine yourself feeling and understanding the thoughts of all those around the world who are celebrating this day of love, and understanding that this is a time they would like to experience. So let's imagine this feeling of love that the world celebrates today, and let's imagine anchoring this feeling of love down into the planet, so it lasts more than just one day, that it lasts on and on, as it is designed to last. Now, let's just imagine everyone having a good time this weekend. Imagine so much goodness in the world that whatever bad things that people have in mind just get washed away. Let's just imagine any darkness on this planet, anyone who might be out trying to cause harm to others or the planet or people or anything. Let's just imagine their plans disintegrating. And let's just think of a peaceful, happy time. So continue to move along the path, spreading the peace and the love that we all have within us. Let our subconscious mind continue on that journey, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Open your eyes and exhale. That's it, my friends. That is the show for today. Thank you very much. That's it for the week. Enjoy the day. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a good time. Be safe. Have fun. And talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.